I'm back from my vacation. I'm back for more. I'm back, and you guys can't get rid of me.
You feel that now? I feel like Rocky in this one, baby. Let's go. Alright, check it. Blast from the past, back from the future. So if I pull the trigger in the past, you know you and your future. I'm still hustling, still hugging the block. The referee to the shit, I'm still calling them shots. I can't be stopped, that's what I told you. I'm living my life like a box of Crayolas. I'm cutting up white, smoking that green. Purple color pens, I'm still making this cream. I'm so sick, check my throat quick. My wrist light up a room like a handful of glow stick. I'm like spoiled milk, the kid's gone bad. Stannis the menace, my pen touches the pad. Niggas is mad, but the ladies is glad. Yo, they rubbing up against me like this nigga is rad. Fucking two divas, drinking on sangria.
Welcome to the Rick Gate Show. I am your host, Rick Hero. I am the host of the greatest podcast ever created, the host of the greatest show ever created. We're going through a little bit of a metamorphosis here on the pod. Excuse me, I just was unpacking all my equipment. Sports and comedy. A lot of the graphics are being redesigned. A lot of the stuff is being redone. Everything's going to be brand new. A lot of announcements are going to happen regarding the changes to the show and the format and all that. If you're tuning in right now, you could drop a comment. I'll be able to read the comment depending on what site you're watching the pod right now as we speak. So yeah, let's get into it. So finally, the NBA season is over, much to what I would like to talk about. It's not about the Boston Celtics winning the title. I watched the finals, and there's just one thing that kept coming to my mind, which was, man, my January Knicks team would have won a championship this year. That's the thing that kept coming to my head was how good the January Knicks team was and how good we would have been in that final. But we didn't make it there. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, we could have did this or we could have did that. At the end of the day, we weren't healthy. We lost all the guys, and we crippled. But at the end, man, it would have been nice. I think that um, what we had as a team, as a Knicks team, as a total, was something special. You know, to go 14-2 in January and be the best team in the NBA, best defense in the NBA, top three in offense. I think we would have had a magical run in these playoffs. And if you look at the playoffs in its entirety, besides Anthony Edwards coming out and just basically putting his name at the top of the list and making himself the face of the league now. I think my Knicks team would have done great. Best series out of the whole playoffs was New York versus Philadelphia. Um, that's why signing OG Anunoby is a must for us. If we don't get OG back, we're gonna have some issues. And um, I don't. Okay, let me just say this because I know there was a report that OG's not happy with what we're offering him. Um, and this is something probably his camp put out, but I'm not nervous. You don't make a trade where you give up two future pieces, where you give up two pieces that could develop into stars for a rental. So I don't think Leon Rose made the trade with this to be his intention. Um, I know the Knicks are going to get the deal done. I'm very confident that OG will be back, but shout out to the Celtics. I couldn't help but wonder what that Indiana series would have looked like if we were fully healthy, what this Eastern Conference would have looked like if we were fully healthy. And the Mavs, I mean, as much as I enjoyed Kyrie and Luca playing well together, um, there's at the finals, the only one there was Kyrie. So it helps me. I mean, I feel good. We're in a good place. We have assets. We have draft picks. We have a team. We have the coach. We have everything. Um, just we got to run it back, man. I feel like we could run it back. Maybe add a piece here or two, but nothing major. Run it back, honestly, and let's get to the playoffs healthy. And I feel like we have a. I'm can't believe I'm saying this, but I feel like we're title contenders with the roster we currently have. But we do have to re-sign OG, and we do have to re-sign Hartenstein, which means Mitchell will end up being the short end. Mitchell Robinson will probably end up being traded, him or Bogey. But I like to keep Bogey. I would love to keep Bogey to come off the bench, some 3-point shooting, space the floor, Um, and I would like to see Bogey and Dante on at the floor at the same time. I think that'll be a lethal combination. I think defenses would struggle on where to guard. I mean, Philly kind of did that to us when they had Oubre and Heald on the floor at the same time. But uh, I think we should keep Bogey, for at least for the beginning of the season. If things go off right, and keep him. If we need to trade him, we could trade him. He has a tradable contract. So, um, yeah, the NBA season is completely over. Hockey is over. Oh, well, that was another. Oh my god, this was like '94 all over again, except the Rangers didn't win the Stanley Cup. But um, I feel like I'm in a better. I feel like the Knicks are in a better place than they've ever been in the last 25 years. So I'm very excited about the future. I'm super excited about next season. Um, this off season is going to be very critical. I've already been on. One thing that I want to ask of my fellow Knicks fan is, please let's stop with these bogus reports. LeBron coming to the Knicks, or there's always some new guy that they want to throw in the mix. Like, yo, he's coming. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't care if LeBron comes, doesn't come. I don't want to hear none of that right now. So please stop with these bogus rumor mill reports. They're ridiculous at this point. Um, yeah, I'm excited. I'll be watching this off season. I'm gonna be watching the draft. I want to see what Leon Rose does. I think the pressure's on for the front office. When he took the job, there was pressure because you're in New York. But now that there's an expectation, there'll be an expectation also when they take the floor next year. So excited, man. Just excited for that. But it's all about baseball from here on out. You know, um, the Yankees did a terrific move in the offseason, which was trading for Juan Soto. They got a legit stud, a legit star. Um, and he's given them everything they could have asked for. He's in a great situation where he's alongside Aaron Judge. Um, and the Yanks, they were rolling for a little bit. But as we all know, in baseball, things happen. Yankees are currently 51-24. So that's beautiful record. They're in first place in the AL East, but they've had some injuries lately, um, and they're starting to run into you know, that mid-season spot where all teams get to, where they either sink or swim. But I think at the end of the day, they'll be good. I don't know if they run away with the division because the Orioles are right there, but they'll be fine. They'll be in the postseason. Very surprised by the Yankees pitching so far this season. I was one of the first people to say I was wrong. And this was before they took first place. This was before, you know, any of that. I was the first one to admit because I'm a baseball purist. I love the game. I love watching teams when they're playing great. Um, but Luis Gill is something special. The pitching staff has been great. Verdugo seems to be the Yankees seem to. I've always criticized the Yanks for always being too uptight, too professional, too not allowing the players to cut loose a little bit, and they let Verdugo do that, which I'm very surprised by that. You know, which is probably a good sign. You know, Yankees are in a weird space where they're dating the person they want to marry, and that's Juan Soto. So they got to be on their best behavior. Um, but that was a good pickup for the Yanks. And then just the way they're going about business, I'm liking it. I'm liking it. Stroman's wearing a do rag on the mound. They're letting the guys be themselves, which is something I've always said, not just for the Yankees, but baseball in general. Baseball's way too uptight. You want viewership. You want a younger audience. You want to compete with all the other major sports. This is a bunch of things you're gonna have to change about the game. Um, I've talked about the unwritten rules. I've talked about some of the stuff that goes on in baseball that kind of turns people off. But uh, the Yankees, I feel like they've shut me up completely. I have not one bad thing to say about any of them this season. Um, Very surprised about how they're going about business. I like the energy. It seems like they got the right pieces together, along with the fact that Astros ain't good. There might be some noise for the Bronx this year. Um, as far as how far the Yankees could go in the playoffs. Uh, like I said before, they're sitting in first place right now in the AL East. When was the last time we could say that? You know, um, we're almost at the midway point with baseball. So I'm very excited to see the rest of the season for the Yanks and see where it goes. Um, Switching gears. So I'm a Mets fan. I couldn't completely tune in, or just like everybody else. New York sports. Like I have a ton of friends. Mike Rodriguez, Mike and John, they're both Yankee fans. Kaba, Yankee fan. Um, Kaba's also a Nets fan, but Kaba texted me at the beginning of the playoffs. He's like, "Yo, I'm watching and I'm rooting for the Knicks." Um, whatever your allegiance is with football or baseball, when it comes to basketball, everybody's a Knicks fan. So nobody was 100% invested into baseball because New York was making a run. Not only the Knicks but the Rangers. So I tend to I'll dabble. I'll watch some games. I'll see how they're doing. Um, but in the beginning of the season, there was not much to look at because I said it going into the season. I don't expect to win 80 games. I don't expect this team to win 80 games. This team is not good. It is very flawed. Um, they got to catch lightning in a bottle, meaning they got to bring up rookies. The rookies got to get on fire. The players, second year players, got to get on fire. Their stars have to play superstar caliber baseball in order to push this team into the playoffs or to compete. The Mets are not good. Do not be fooled by this run that we're going on right now. They're not good. There's a lot of holes on this team. Um, temper your expectations. It's been nice to watch them win these games, and with the whole grimace thing, which I find ridiculous, but cool. Let's talk about it where we are right now. Phillies in first place, 49-25. We're 13 games out of first place. We're not even in any of the 3 wild card spots. So let's just calm down, and let's temper these expectations. Yes, we're 8-2 in the last 10 games, but we've been horrible at home. We're 18-23, and we've been a little bit better away, which is 17-14 and on the road. In order for the Mets to make the playoffs this year, they're gonna have to call up prospects and make some trades to get this thing done. Now, what has been good, this run that we're going on now, what's good about the run, it gives the front office purpose to look and not sit and wait to make trades. They have something there. They just feels like they don't feel like they have energy. Or when the Lindor trade happened and the last couple of years, there was juice behind that team. I don't see it right now. I don't feel it, even though we're winning games. I think they're dull. They're flat. We don't have the quality pitchers that we've become accustomed to having. Uh, Man, I'm destroying my Mets. But I would temper expectations as much as possible if for us, for our sake. Um, but like I said, if we continue to win and we continue to uh, put some games here together, and then we'll be talking. Um, so let's just talk about some of the players that have been having great seasons so far, and I was talking about Mets pitching, but Seth Lugo has 10 wins, former Met player. Rendon's got 9. That's huge for the Yankees. Rendon and Stanton, I said in Yo BTV Sports that uh, well, Hugo said that Rendon's the guy, but I've always mentioned that Rendon and Stanton need to be going for the Yankees to go anywhere. Yankees got 2 pitchers with 9 wins, which is Gill and Rendon. Look at Chris Sale, 9 wins for the Atlanta Braves. That's remarkable. Carlos Correa's batting pretty good, 317. Profar, 323 for San Diego. Look at that. Bobby Witt, 321, just got signed that big contract in the offseason. Otani, of course. Judge, 26 dingers. I think Judge ends around with 50, 55 home runs this year. Uh, the Cubs, out of all the Japanese pitchers that were signed, the Cubs pitcher, to me, has been by far the most impressive. He's on my fantasy team. I don't know. I just got like this feeling about him when the Cubs signed him, and it's paid off so far. Juan Soto, 55 ribbies, and he's batting in front of a guy that has 64 ribbies. So Yankees are going to do a lot of damage with those 2 guys. Arias obviously has 100 hits. Altuve, 87. Altuve's still out there. He's still getting his hits. Ellie De La Cruz has brought something to baseball that has been missing from baseball for years, and that is the stolen base element. Ellie De La Cruz and his where's that? Ellie's at what? 37 stolen bases. It's pretty freaking good. And we're not at the All-Star break yet, so exciting player to watch. It's good to see some of these young guys coming up um, and doing some of the stuff that they're doing. So let's talk about it. Yankee starters have 51 wins. They lead all of baseball. Yanks are second in the home run category. They got 110. Baltimore's got 115. Yankees leading in ERA, like I talked about their pitching a little bit a while ago. They're second in RBIs. They're third in saves with 25. Look at that. Surprisingly, they're not leading in strikeouts, and then they don't steal many bases. So, um, very interesting. Let me switch over to the National League. Just want to see if my guys are leading in anything in at all this year. Uh, Home runs. Mets are third in home runs with 82. And that's it. That's not a good sign. I've always hated home run heavy teams that rely on the home run ball. Usually don't go too far. 82 home runs. And the Dodgers with 102. Dodgers are really far ahead because number 2 is Philly and they got 84. Yeah, but from here on out, it's all about baseball. It's all about the Mets. Obviously, I'm going to be watching the Yankees because I know for a fact the Mets is going to be a lot harder for them to go anywhere. Their main hitter right now is Sterling Marte. He's batting 280. Pete's got 15 home runs and Nimmo's got 40 ribbies. So those are not the guys that you normally want to look at when you want to talk about leading. Sean Manet's got 67 strikeouts for the Mets. And look at Sevy. Sevy leads the Mets in ERA, 3.52. It's pretty good. But these aren't the names that you want leading the team. These are the guys. Reed Garrett is leading in wins. These aren't the guys they brought in to, you know, like when you see batting. Let's look at the Mets batting. You expect to see Pete leading. Yeah, well, he's leading in home runs, but you expect to see Pete leading in home runs and RBIs. You expect to see Lindor's name in batting average. You expect to see, McNeil in batting average. And we're not there. Lindor leads the team with 69 hits. That's awful. That tells you a lot. Temper the expectations. Wow. Let's look at the pitching real quick. Mets have a team ERA of 4.11. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Yeah, it's not looking good for us. It's not. Vamos Yankees. Buenas tardes, Ricky. California, California. Who is this? I have no clue who this is. This Bago? Bago always creates these fake accounts. So yeah, the Mets, they're gonna have a tough time, man, this year. Tough time. Um, if I was a betting man, I'd say the Yankees probably make the ALCS. Probably, depending on how healthy they are, they got a decent shot at that. But I don't want to get the Yankees fans' hopes up too much. But you guys are doing pretty good. Keep it up. If the injuries don't catch you. Now, I was saving this for the end of the episode because this is really going to get the Yankee fans going. Part of the reason why I'm not too happy about what's going on with the New York Mets. Um, there's been significant talks about the Yankees trading for Peter Alonso. um, giving them Soto and Alonso on the same team. They're both going to be free agents at the end of the season. They both are Scott Boras clients. We know how Scott Boras operates. Now, he gives the Yankees more protection for Aaron Judge because I would put him right behind Judge. Plays a great defense at first base, even though um, before Rizzo went down, I wouldn't say you needed it, but now it looks like they're going to need a solid first baseman. Um, Pete gives you that. And Pete also makes it easier to compete for a title. But do I think it happens? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Uh, I don't know. I know the Will Ponds, excuse me. That's how bad I feel about this Mets team this year. The Steve Cohen has a great relationship with the Steinbrenners. Um, and they do have conversations. I don't think this is those years where the Steinbrenners didn't get along with the Wilpons, and it's not that type of relationship. We didn't even speak to Aaron Judge during the off season out of some sense of loyalty or hidden agreement that our owner had with the Yankees. But Pete Alonso going to the Yankees, that'll be big. That would be huge for the Yankees. It would be the last piece that they needed to get them over the hump. But yeah, that's why I don't feel very. I don't see where we shift the dynamic of the team, and I'm speaking about the Mets. I don't see the free agent we bring in that changes the face of the culture. Now, people say Soto coming to the Mets in the offseason is a possibility. Yeah, because Steve Cohen's got money. Anybody in the offseason, because of Steve Cohen's money, can come to the Mets. But I see it? I don't know. Soto's having way too much fun in New York. He's playing in the Bronx, right across the bridge from the Bronx, Washington Heights, and in the Bronx, they're predominantly Dominican areas. Um, and the fans are showing him the love. And he's getting comfortable here in New York. And he likes playing with Judge. So uh, I'll, I don't know. I don't see. I mean, at the end of the day, money's money, but I don't see that as a possibility for us. Um, And if we resign Pete, we resign Pete. But what does that give us? It just gives us a piece that we have right now. I don't really see a big move that we can make or do at this moment in time or in the off season. So looks like it might be a long season, although I'm gonna enjoy this winning streak, and it might be a long off season. Uh, but a lot of money's coming off the books this year. So uh, they did the right thing at the trade deadline. It was the only move that they could do last year. Let's see where this goes. If they continue winning, they could force the front office's hands to make some moves, bring some guys in, make some trades, and compete. But do I think the Mets at this point in time don't even smell the playoffs with the way the team is actually built right now at this point in time? Don't smell the playoffs. There's no way they get to the playoffs. Like I said, starting the show, I don't think they'll get to 80 wins. And I'm very confident in that predicament about the 80 wins. I think we have, don't remember the exact number of wins, but I'm going to look for it now because I'm going to say it on the show. We have 35 wins currently right now, right? We're 35 and 37. That's 72 games. Mets have 90 games left to play. They will not get to 80 wins. and then I could come back and talk about being right about them not getting to 82 games. Before I go, uh, Vegas was fantastic. I loved it. Um, I went out to the Grand Canyon. Probably the Grand Canyon. I had a beautiful steak dinner for my birthday, but the Grand Canyon was probably the best piece of the trip. I did get to see Vegas. I got to see a lot of beautiful pieces of Vegas. I got to learn about Las Vegas. Apparently, if you're going to Vegas, prepare yourself. Um, the casinos are nice. Um, but the going to Arizona and seeing the Grand Canyon was you know I've seen the Eiffel Tower now. I've seen the Grand Canyon. I live in New York City, so I get to see Empire State. I've seen that Statue of Liberty. Grand Canyon. That was one, and who knows? Maybe I go back and I go see it again. But it's amazing to see because it gives you perspective on how small you are in this world and how big this country is actually, and how vast. Um, I got to see the Mob Museum, which is pretty cool. We saw a bunch of the casinos. Went into the Mirage. The Mirage is going to be torn down, so it's we got to see it. We were fortunate. We were in the Bellagio. We stayed in the Bellagio. Beautiful hotel. Um, it was a great trip. It was a great trip. I turned 40. And being that I turned 40, I was born in 1984. I wanted to give, because I always say this and people don't believe me. 1984 could have been possibly one of the best years in the history of this country and this world, right? So people do not believe me about that. So I have facts about the year of 1984. Okay. So gasoline cost $1.21 a gallon in 1984. So let me just get a little banner, right? Gas was $1.21 a gallon in 1984, right? Uh, a loaf of bread cost 71 cents. A dozen eggs were $1. To purchase a new home, 97,492, right? The world's population was 4.78 billion. Top five films that came out that year were Ghostbusters, The Karate Kid, Police Academy, Footloose, and Beverly Hills Cop. Fantastic movies, okay? Ronald Reagan was obviously president. Inventions from 1984, well, DNA fingertip use was first used in 1984. LCD projectors were created in 1984. The nicotine patch to help people quit smoking was created in 1984. And a little company called Macintosh was first built in 1984, which you guys now know as Apple. Uh, Other celebrities that were born in 1984, besides myself, Katy Perry, LeBron James, Khloe Kardashian, Scarlett Johansson, Avril Lavigne, and Carmelo Anthony. There's a couple more, just to name a few. The U.S. population in 1984 was 236.4 million. Sounds like a nice number to be at. The World Series champs were the Detroit Tigers. The Super Bowl champions were the Los Angeles Raiders. The Los Angeles Raiders, not Oakland, Los Angeles. The NBA champions were the Boston Celtics. Celtics won it this year. And the Edmonton Oilers were the Stanley Cup champs, which is funny because the Oilers. So 4 decades, 40 years, 480 months, 2,087 weeks, 14,609 days, 350,632 hours, 21 million. I'm not even going to go into the minutes, but how long I've been alive? 40 years. I am grateful. I'm always humbled. I do terrible with public praises. I do terrible when being acknowledged for something I did great. I'm uncomfortable in those spaces. I have a terrific family. I recently started therapy. And I feel good. I feel like I'm in a great space. And I know exactly where I want to be when I turn 50. I knew where I wanted to be when I turned 40. And what I mean by that is certain things I wanted to get done. I'm happy to say, like I said in the previous episode, all those things got done. I'm going to cherish every small moment from now on. I'm going to worry more about my mental health. And I'm going to try to be happy in whatever scenario or situation I'm in. It's interesting, you know. When you turn a certain milestone birthday, I think, like I said in my previous episode, reflecting on where you are in life and what you're doing is a beautiful thing. Being aware of who you are and where you want to be and how to get there is another. And I'm 100% laser focused on where I'm going in the next 10 years. And I hope you guys are too. So I'm going to leave you with 5 songs that came out. And then I'm going to talk about some news from 1984. And then I'm going to sign off. Jump by Van Halen came out in 1984. Prince's When Doves Cry came out in 1984. Kenny Loggins' Footloose came out in 84. Hello by Lionel Richie came out in 1984. And the song Ghostbusters, obviously, by Ray Parker Jr. came out in 1984. So some of the news, some of the big things that happened in 84. Michael Jackson won 8 Grammys. The longest game in Major League Baseball history lasted 8 hours and 6 minutes in 1984. Bill Johnson became the first American male to win an Olympic gold medal in alpine skiing. And the Space Shuttle Discovery took off on its maiden voyage. So, we're here. We'll be producing shows. We'll be interviewing people. We'll be talking about comedy. The show's going to look different. It's going to feel different. It's going to sound different. Cheers to another 40 years. I'll see you guys next week.
You feel that knock? I feel like Rocky in this one, baby. Let's go. Alright, check it. Blast from the past, back from the future. So if I pull the trigger in the past, it's no you and your future. I'm still hustling, still hugging the block. The referee to the shit, I'm still calling them shots. I can't be stopped. That's what I told you. I'm living my life like a box of Crayolas. I'm cutting up white, smoking that green. Purple color pens, I'm still making this cream. I'm so sick, check my throat quick. My wrist light up a room like a handful of glow stick. I'm like spoiled milk, the kids gone bad.